Awesome. Thank you. Well, good morning, everybody. On this another tease of winter morning here in the Boise area, I think all over Idaho, it's kind of crazy. So we're not doing yoga outside today. Welcome to Gentle Yoga class for NKA, New Knowledge Adventures. Just briefly, New Knowledge Adventures. My table is shaking because my AARP dog is wanting me to throw the ball for her. So welcome to New Knowledge Adventures, also known as NKA. The program started in 2015 here in the Treasure Valley, and it's modeled by a program that was partnered with in Pocatello with Idaho State University. Everybody are volunteers here. I'm a volunteer. Our instructor is a volunteer. The Zoom host, everybody does volunteer work for AARP. If you're interested in volunteer, throw me a message on chat and I'll get you the contact information. I just briefly wanted to say that there are classes for the rest of this week too. There's tomorrow is book club, and on Thursday there's interconnected human body and do you really know what meds you take. So that's for the rest of this week. The class is being recorded and you'll be able to, it should be up on YouTube, maybe even by this afternoon or tomorrow. So our instructor is Neva Giselle. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. She will correct me. And she will go ahead and introduce herself and her background. Questions, if you do have any questions, she would like either questions at the beginning or at the end, and you can put them in the chat and I will be monitoring them as well as her. So with that, thank you, Neva. We appreciate you doing this class and I will turn this over to you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the chance to be here and appreciate the work that AARP does. I will correct you. My name is Neva Geisler. I was named after my grandmother and I was born on her birthday. And so it was not negotiable, as my mom would say. And I always tell people it's easy to remember because Neva rhymes with diva, but I am not one. And I think my grandmother would freak out if she heard me even say diva. So, but that's an easy way to remember my name. I'm a new AARP member myself. And I was just explaining as we were getting started, I'm dog sitting for also an AARP dog who is experiencing some anxiety separated from his owner. And so I tried to put him in the bedroom and he wasn't having any of it. So he's going to be here practicing with us today too. So just to give you a little bit of background about me, when I first came to yoga, maybe I guess probably 25 years ago, I first came and I just thought it was not for me, like the Om and all of that. And I was not flexible and I thought it was about touching my toes and I couldn't do it. And so I tried it once and then I left. And then maybe 15 years ago, my employer offered it at the office and it seemed like a really good chance to try it again. So I did try, and this instructor started from the very beginning and she really explained a lot of things to me, which was really helpful because I think yoga can be something that feels really mysterious and like something that other people do and not something that's accessible and available to everyone. And if there's anything that I would love for you to take from today is that yoga is for everyone. It doesn't matter if you can touch your toes. It's not about what you wear. It's not about your clothes. You can do it at home. I'll just show you like my setup here. I just had to move my furniture to make it possible. So yoga is not something that happens in a studio. It doesn't happen to somebody else. It can happen with you. I received my yoga teacher training. It was a 200-hour certification from the Sage Yoga School in Boise, Idaho, and I'm currently in the 500-hour training program, and we'll have that complete in November. And in addition to that, I also work for City Club of Boise. And some of you who are on may have heard of City Club or heard some of the programs stream on BSU radio. And if you have questions also about City Club, happy to answer that. Today, we're going to practice the non-authoritarian exploration of yoga, which means that you are an expert in your own experience. And I am just offering cues and I'm guiding. But if it doesn't feel right in your body, then make the adjustments, because you know your anatomy better than anyone else. So this is just sort of, these are suggestions. And in my yoga teacher training program, we had a really particularly intense weekend. It was really physical. And we were taking a public class, and all the yoga teacher trainers were in the back row in the room. And I looked over, and one of them laid down on her mat and covered up with a blanket and went to sleep right in the middle of class. And it looked so inviting that I felt like, can I do that? So I also lay down on the mat, covered myself, and I went to sleep. And then pretty soon, all of the yoga teachers in training were sleeping on the mats while this yoga class was going on. And I have to say, it was one of the best yoga experiences I've ever had. So if what feels right in your body today is to spend this time just with a little bit of shut-eye, that's great too. So just listen to the body. We'll talk a lot about the breath today too, because I do think that's the most important thing about yoga. This class is a 45-minute class, so just to set your expectations. First, do we have any questions before we get started? Okay. So the way we will progress through class, we'll start with just kind of simple arriving and being grounded, just kind of present in this space, connect with the breath. And then we'll just do some gentle movements just to get the body kind of warmed up. And then we'll move into some stretching, and then Shavasana, which is the relaxation period at the end when you lie down on your mat and you just sort of let it all settle. So we'll go ahead and get started. I'm using a yoga mat, and but I've also taught places where they didn't have mats and we used towels or just the carpet. But you can find, if you don't have a yoga mat, you can find them at like TJ Maxx or Marshall's, usually really cheap. So a yoga mat's a really nice thing to have around. Okay, so let's begin. Begin in a seated position that feels comfortable to you. Through our movement today, I'm also going to offer options if you're using a chair. So if you're seated in a chair, that's a great option too. Or seated on the mat. So just sit in a way that feels comfortable for you. And then close your eyes if it feels safe and comfortable for you to have your eyes closed. You don't need to watch or see this next part. And then we'll begin by connecting to the breath. And this is a really simple breathing exercise. And let's just first start. We'll take a big inhale through the nose, and we'll exhale out of the mouth with a sigh, with an audible sigh. We'll do that 3 times. So take a big inhale through the nose. Exhale with a sigh. Inhale. Exhale. One more time, inhale. Exhale. And then we'll check in with the body just to see how the body feels today, the physical body. Take your attention to your face. We'll start there. Squint your eyes and tighten up your eyes and feel how that feels. And then let your eyes go. Let that switch go and let your eyes be soft. You can even take your 2 fingers and just kind of massage the center between your eyebrow. You just want your brow to be really soft here. Then take your focus to your jaw. Open up your lower jaw and just move your lower jaw around a little bit. And then release. Let your mouth close, but let there be a little space between your teeth. And if your tongue is pressed to the roof of your mouth, let your tongue be soft in your mouth. Take your attention to your earlobes and then the tops of your shoulders. And then let your arms be as heavy as they are. Think about the bones in your arms. And let the weight of your arms pull your shoulders away from your ears. And then let's just check in with how you're feeling today and what might be present for you. And as we practice, I invite you to allow whatever you're feeling and whatever kind of energy shows up, I invite you to allow it through the lens of loving kindness for yourself. Reminding ourselves that when we practice self-compassion, that we are increasing our ability to experience compassion for others. So feeling compassion towards yourself. And as we practice, if you find that your mind is chattering and you're not speaking to yourself with loving kindness, I invite you to speak to yourself as if you were speaking to your best friend or your dog or your kids. So practicing loving kindness towards yourself as we practice today. Take your chin, drop your chin to your chest. We'll stretch out the back of the neck. And then check in with the breath, because sometimes when we tuck our chin, it restricts our breath. So tuck your chin, but make sure that you're still breathing deeply. And then with your gaze down, your chin tucked, just take your chin over to your right shoulder. And then the left. So just little tips of your chin from side to side while your head is still down. And then lift your chin. Take your chin now with your head upright over to your right shoulder. And then take your left fingertips over to the side. If you're in a chair, just let your left hand hang, but chin goes to the right. And then if you'd like to add, you can start to move your chin around a little bit. And you could take your fingertips a little further away and start to twist your body a little bit. It might feel nice to open up your jaw and move your jaw around. And gently take your head through center. Lift your fingertips, put your left hand back on your knee. Take your chin and your gaze over to the left. And then again, you can take your right hand out to the side. And then move your head in any way that would feel really nice here. Just experimenting with that. Maybe it feels good to just hold it. It might feel good to drop your head back a little bit. Maybe open up your jaw. And then release your head, bring your hand back to your knee, and then just head rolls from side to side. And then if it feels safe in your neck, we don't want to feel any pain. If it feels safe, you can roll your head all the way around. So dropping your head back. And then reverse directions with your head roll. And then we'll get the torso into the roll. Start to move your upper body. And just be curious as you're moving your upper body. If you find a spot and it feels good to stay and stretch, maybe like your lower back might like a stretch to one side. Go ahead and lean into that. You can let your head also get into this. So just pay attention to what feels good here. And none of your screens are on, so I can't see any of you. So just do what feels good without being self-conscious about what it looks like. And then reverse directions. And then pause, come back to the center. Take your fingers out to the side with your palms down. We'll flip the palms up, take a big inhale, lift your palms, touch your palms, reach your fingertips up. Turn your palms down, exhale. Palms up, big inhale through the nose. Touch your palms, turn your palms down, exhale. One more time, big inhale up. Turn the palms down, exhale. Now take your left hand out to the side, or if you're in a chair, drop it down. Inhale your right arm up overhead. Keep your chest open and your gaze up towards the ceiling or the sky. Then lift both arms. Reach your fingertips up and imagine the space and the energy between your palms, but keep the arms straight. Sit up tall as if there was a string in the crown of your head reaching up. And at the same time, take your attention to the parts of the body that are seated. So you're feeling both the head and the ground at the same time. Take a big inhale here. Exhale, tip to the second side. So right hand goes down, left arm goes up. Twist open so that your chest is open and your gaze goes up. Inhale up. This time, touch your palms together, reach your fingertips high, and then lower your thumbs down. Bring your thumbs to your heart center and take a moment here to just check in with where your mind is. If your mind is making to-do lists or chattering, I invite you to come back. Feel the sensation of the breath as you inhale. Where do you feel it? Where do you feel it as you exhale? Take your hands out again to the side, turn the palms up, inhale. Exhale through the nose. Again, inhale. Touch your palms. This time we're going to twist. Exhale, turn your chest over to the left. Reach your right hand to your left knee. Left arm goes behind. Pull your belly button in towards your spine. So you're engaging your core muscles here. And that should give you a little bit more space to twist. Be mindful not to pull or yank here. You just want to be gentle in the spine. Check in with any areas of the body that might be holding that don't need to be holding. So what is your jaw doing right now? If your jaw is clenched, let your jaw be soft. And then we'll inhale, arms back up. Exhale, second side, twist to the right. Left hand goes to the right knee. Pull your belly button towards the spine. Right hand is behind you. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twist. We'll do that 3 more times. Inhale up. Twist. Inhale up. Twist. Twice more. Inhale up. Twist. Inhale up. Twist to the right. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, arms up. Last time. Exhale, twist to the right. Come forward. Inhale, arms up. Interlace your fingers, but keep your pointer fingers straight. Hold your arms up over your head and then just tip over to the left. This should feel like a big side body opening here. And then inhale through center. Exhale over to the right. And then up. Release the hands, touch the palms down. Bring your palms to your knees. And we'll move into some cat-cow positions. This is a classic yoga move to warm up the spine. Oftentimes it's done on hands and knees, but I think it's also just as great to do in a seated position. So we'll inhale, and when you inhale, lift your chest, arch your back, pull your hands on your knees, and drop your head back if it feels safe for your neck. So you're like a sway back cow. So it looks like this. Take some big breaths. Fill your lungs. And then we'll press back into a seated cat. So like a Halloween cat. So curve your spine, pull your belly button towards your core, lean back, hold your knees, drop your head. You're going to inhale, come forward again, seated cow. Exhale, seated cat. Round the shoulders, tuck your chin, lean back. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. One more time, press back to cat. And then come up to neutral. Check in with your body, see if you need to shift positions. If you're sitting on the yoga mat, we're going to move our legs out in front. If you're in a chair, you can still have your legs down, or you could prop a chair in front of you and put your feet up on the chair. So take the kind of fleshy parts of your body out, just lift them up. And then take your hands into fists and just tap your lower back and your legs. And then take your hands under your knees and we'll flex our feet. So as we age, the soles of our feet lose flexibility. So we'll just do some foot stretching here. I think this is a better position. So if you're in a chair, you can do this seated, just put your heels down. If you're sitting up, hold the backs of your legs and then pull your toes towards your body. If you're on a mat, lift your heels up. So engage the muscles in your legs. So imagine using the muscles in your legs to lift your heels, pull your toes as far as you can towards your body. And then release, point your toes. So you're in ballerina feet. Toes pointed away, stretching the tops of the feet. And then pull the feet out, toes towards you. And then toes away. And then again, flex the feet, toes come towards you. Point your toes. Toes come towards you. Point your toes. Beautiful. And then we'll do a forward fold here. So when we do this, and you can do this in a chair as well, or your legs are out in front, reach your arms up overhead. And then the way we'll fold is we'll fold like a laptop. So you'll keep your back straight and you'll lean forward and as if you're reaching. So it's like you're holding a beach ball and you reach forward. And then when your back is no longer straight, then you just curl down any amount. You can do this in the chair. If you're seated, I like to take my hands under whatever part of the body is where my hands are that day. Some days my toes are reachable and some days they aren't. Just depends on how, if I'm warmed up or the state of my body. Today they aren't. So I'm just going to take my hands under my calf muscles and I'm just going to pull just gently. Again, you don't want to wrench anything here. So don't wrench or pull, but just sort of gently use that as leverage. And then notice where you're feeling the stretch. For me, I feel this a lot in my lower back, but I also feel it up in my shoulders. Check in with other parts of your body that might be holding that don't need to be. So is your jaw clenched? Your jaw is clenched, let it go. Check in with your breath, make sure you're not holding your breath. Then we'll take a few more breaths. And then rise up. Sit all the way up. And if you're on a mat, take your hands behind you, bend your knees, place your feet on the floor. And then let your right knee drop out to the side and let your left knee follow. And then left knee opens up, right knee follows. If you're in a chair, modify this just to move your legs in any way that might feel really nice. So back and forth. The form doesn't really matter here. It's more the movement and listening to what feels good and getting into the hips. And then come back to a seated position. If you're on the mat, we'll move into butterfly pose. So to do that, you bring the soles of your feet together. And the shape, it'll make a diamond. The shape of your diamond changes the nature of the stretch, and there's no one right way. So your feet can be way away from you. They can be closer to you. However, it feels good. And if you're in a seated pose, you can hold your feet. If you're in a chair, just open your legs up, or optional, cross one leg over the other. If you're on the mat, you can hold your feet, maybe rock side to side, maybe move the knees up and down like a butterfly. And then you can just fold forward if you'd like a little bit more intensity in the pose. And then lift up. Sit in a natural, comfortable position, and we'll get into the wrists and the shoulders a little bit. So interlace your fingers, turn your palms away from you, press your palms away, and then imagine making space between your shoulder blades. So hunch your shoulders while you're pressing your hands away. Drop your chin to your chest. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, bring them back down. Press the palms away from you. And release. Hold your wrists. Give your wrists a little bit of a massage. Both sides. And then take your left hand with the back of the hand towards you. Grab a hold of your index finger. Pull your index finger towards your body. Release that finger. Grab your next finger. So I'm just pressing my palm away and I'm pulling one finger at a time. And then the thumb. And then second side. Back of the hand is towards you. Pull the index finger towards you. Next finger. Next finger. Next finger. And then the thumb. Release, roll your wrists. And then we'll do some movement for the shoulders. Open up your arms really wide, spread your fingers wide, let your thumbs point towards the sky, lift your chest up and pull your shoulder blades together on your back. So you're arching your back. Hold here. This takes some muscle engagement just to hold the arms out. Yeah, remembering that the bones in your arms they have weight. So this is, this takes muscle to hold them here. Then you'll take a big exhale and wrap the arms around the body. Drop your chin to your chest. Now imagine your shoulder blades coming apart. We'll inhale, open the arms back up. Thumbs towards the sky. Keep the arms lifted. Exhale, wrap the arms around the body. Let the shoulder blades spread on the back. Tuck your chin. One more time, open up. Thumb towards the sky. Exhale, arms around the body. Drop your chin. Open up one more time. Thumbs up towards the sky. Release. Lift your shoulders up by your ears and then roll them back. Big shoulder rolls. And then lift your shoulders up and forward. Go ahead and let your arms come into the movement. And we'll get back into stretching the shoulders. Take your right arm across your body. Cradle it with your left arm. And then be really gentle here. You don't want to yank or pull, but just cradle it until you feel a nice stretch in the back of the shoulder blade. And then release. Roll your shoulders up and back. Take your left arm across the body. Cradle it with the right. You can even coax it a little bit like you're cradling a baby or a puppy or a kitty. And then just gentle pull here. And then release. Roll the shoulders up and back. And then we'll move into Shavasana. So if you're in a chair and you'd like to stay in a chair, you can stay in a chair. Or you can lie down on the floor. Or if you're in a mat, you'll come down. And when you lie down, you take your feet about the mat distance apart. So they're not hip distance apart. So your feet are open a little bit. Your arms rest at your sides with your palms up. Take a big breath in through your nose, out to the mouth. And then let your body just settle here for a moment. Feel the points of contact that your body's making with the floor or the chair. Feel your breath. Where do you feel your breath as you inhale? Where do you feel it as you exhale? Take a few more breaths here. And then gently, if you're lying down, roll over onto your side. You're just going to pause here for a moment. Close your eyes. And then you'll keep your eyes closed and you'll press yourself up to a seated position. Bring your palms together and your thumbs at your heart center. And I'll close today with the sound of Om. If you've experienced any yoga classes, this is often a way to close. And it's a universal sound, and it's Om. And there's a silence at the end that's part of the sound. You can join with me if you'd like, or you can just listen. If you're joining in this Om, exhale. Inhale. Namaste. The divine in me sees the divine in you. Thank you for practicing with me. I wanted to leave a few minutes for questions. I see one in the chat. Oh, could everyone mute, please? Any questions about the practice that we just did, or any questions about yoga in general? From Patricia, thank you. This is a nice way to get back into this. I think that's such a good reminder that yoga is always here. And just because we don't practice all the time doesn't mean we can't just jump right back in. It's always here. Even 5 minutes of yoga is beneficial. Even just the tip towards the chin to the chest is great to stretch out the back of the neck, or even just the opening up of the arms, or even just a nice deep breath. Any other final thoughts or questions?
So Neva, this is Marie. Can you tell us where do you, I guess, practice your yoga at? Particular location, or just online from home, or give us a little more information maybe about yourself?
Yeah, sure. I teach a gentle yoga class that has a little bit more movement than what we did, but it's still really gentle and it's beginner friendly, all levels friendly, at a studio called Zen Riot on the Bench in Boise. It's on Franklin Road across the street from the Fred Meyer on Franklin, called Zen Riot. And I teach there from noon to 1. And then I teach what I call yoga for restoration. And that's a yoga practice similar to what we did today, but probably even slower. And we hold the poses longer. And I teach that at Source Meditation, and that's downtown on 8th Street, right above Bitter Creek Restaurant. And I teach there from 5:30 to 6:30 on Monday nights and welcome drop-ins. And then I also teach a class that I call power yoga for powerful women on Thursdays from 12:30 to 1:15, also at Source. And that's kind of like an exercisey yoga, and it's women only. I find sometimes that's something that makes people more comfortable. There's a question that are any poses not so good for osteoporosis? I think the answer to that is to listen to your body and to know when you're pushing it too hard or when you're not. I think any movement is great for osteoporosis, and really any movement is kind of the medicine for what ails you, but just to be really mindful. For osteoporosis, you want to make something that might be helpful to incorporate our stretches for the soles of the feet. Again, the tissues and the ligaments in the soles of our feet, they lose flexibility, which is partially the reason that we become at risk of falling. So a really easy stretch for the soles of your feet is to sit on your knees, and you can sit on a pillow or a blanket, and you can put a pillow or a blanket under your knees, and then you tuck your toes, and then you sit back on your heels. So my toes are tucked like this. This is a really intense pose. Like, I have a lot of sensation in the soles of my feet. But if you do this on a regular basis, it gets easier, and it's so good for your feet and really helpful in fall prevention. And I would say lying flat on the floor hurts my lower back. I would say don't lie on the floor. Lie on a sofa, lie in your bed. Most of what we did today could be practiced on your bed or your sofa. So another option is to put cushions or extra blankets on the floor. Lying on the floor should be a pleasurable experience, and your body should be able to soften into it. So do use whatever props that you have available to you to do that. Sometimes it feels nice, if you're lying on the floor, to take a blanket or a towel and just roll it up and put it under the middle of your back, like where my hands are, and then to do the same and put one under your knees. Like if you've had a massage, similar to that can be helpful. It can also be nice to have something under your head. So in yoga, we're seeking, especially gentle yoga, we're seeking to let the body release and be relaxed. If we wanted to go through poses from today, will it be on YouTube? That's my understanding. Yes, you'll be able to find it on YouTube. And then I'll drop my email in the chat here, so you'll have it if you'd like more information. My business is called the Neva Collective. And in addition to teaching yoga, I run a group for women in caregiving roles, which is a membership sort of subscription monthly. And for that, we have the yoga classes are included in that. And I also offer those classes online. And then we get together for a facilitated conversation around mental health and just checking in on how everyone's doing. I facilitate the conversation, and I have a little bit of a catering background. So I prepare a 3-course meal with wine for the dinner. And we do that once a month. And then we do some other kind of learning activity that's community building. So if that's something you're interested in too, it's a really great way many of us are caring for kids or aging parents or neighbors or relatives or pets, or we're nonprofit leaders, or we're bosses caring for staff. So it's a great place to get some support. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you so much for the invitation.
And thank you, Neva. Sorry about your name.
Oh, no worries.
Pronouncing it
My whole
wrong.
life. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. This has been great. Yeah. Yoga is a kind of a staple, and whenever I start feeling stressed out, and I know the stretching is great, and yeah, and it was wonderful, and I'm glad that we'll be able to go back to this on YouTube.
Yeah.
So thanks for your time. We appreciate
Absolutely.
you doing this for NKA, and I hope our paths will cross sometime in the future. So that would
Me
be
too.
awesome.
Me too.
Thank you,
so much.
everybody, for attending.
Thank you.
Have
Thank
a great
you.
rest of your day.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
all. Bye-bye.